R.E.P.O, a game many of you have played, one everyone's at least heard of. This hilarious game exploded onto the scene less than a year ago, and the rest is history. Whether you're a solo adventurer or roll in with a crew, R.E.P.O has something to offer to everyone. Anyways, let's dig into why and how this game became a true phenomenon and continues to offer hours of laughs and scares. Also, if you love content like this and want to see more of it, consider subscribing and dropping a like on the video. It helps the channel grow, and I love to hear the feedback. You can always change your mind later on. With that out of the way, I'm Shrimp, and this is the rise of R.E.P.O. Enjoy. R.E.P.O was developed by creators SemiWorks Studios, who only previously released one game up until this point, Voidigo. According to an article by Gabriel Huerta from Mara Station, when asked about the development and funding for R.E.P.O, Pontius Sundstrom, SemiWorks marketing manager, stated that R.E.P.O's development was a big risk to take, as Voidigo hadn't been successful enough to guarantee a next step. To think that R.E.P.O was almost never released is pretty crazy in retrospect, especially for Walter Tischkowitz, co-CEO, artist, and programmer at SemiWorks. He recalls the team's mindset: "We can't take this next step. Let's just fail quickly this time. We took all the money from Voidigo and put it all into this next game, R.E.P.O." While this decision ultimately paid off very well for the team, the game thousands know and love is far different from initial designs. Originally designed as a single-player cleanup game, the team was dissatisfied with the game at the time. Aspects like the hilariously exaggerated voice-activated mouth movement barely even made it into the end product. Thankfully, they loved the direction their team was moving in, so they dove in headfirst into these aspects, moving to a multiplayer platform focused on survival and raiding haunted locations. R.E.P.O released on February 26, 2025 on Steam. Though many attribute its early success to building off of the hit independent horror survival game Lethal Company, R.E.P.O really stands out in many ways. Some attribute the similarities to R.E.P.O's early success, with estimates by Gamealytics suggesting SemiWorks sold nearly 3.1 million copies in just 3 weeks, with a believed revenue ranging from 10.7 to nearly 46 million US. This range is so wide due to different ways of estimating, but either way, it proves the undoubtable success the team experienced. The game was received exceptionally well amongst gamers and critics alike due to its simplicity, replayability, and outright fun. With clarity and responsive feedback from both the player base and developers, it was a recipe for success. Since releasing in February of 2025, the game has been receiving constant updates and bug fixes, along with community involvement. According to the Steam database, as of January 2026, there are an average 30,000 concurrent players still playing R.E.P.O, an obvious indicator of a great game and true love and care shown to a game and its player base by its developers. Every time I load up R.E.P.O, I know I'm gonna have a good time. When I first started playing, I was pretty skeptical of whether or not it was worth all of the hype. After playing Phasmophobia for an extensive amount of time, along with some hours put into Lethal Company, I imagined it was just another clone of Lethal, but with a funny twist with the voice chat. Little did I know what I was getting myself into. Every level of R.E.P.O plays roughly the same way. You and your team start at one end of the map, arriving in a truck. You spawn next to your first extraction point, in which you have a quota to meet. Your team then needs to move throughout the level, which can be one of 4 maps. As you move through the level, you'll encounter items ranging in size and value to bring back to the extraction point. Along with these valuables though, enemies will spawn throughout the map. They can range from completely harmless to overwhelmingly terrifying. They operate mostly on sound and vision, using sounds made by players, doors, items, and even other enemies to try and track you down. See this video by Alter Ego Raider for an in-depth explanation of their mechanics. If somehow you're able to kill one by slamming it into the ground or throwing it into a pit, you'll receive a small orb worth a nice chunk of change to be used for meeting quotas. As you progress, more and more enemies will spawn, as well as their difficulty will rise. As you progress through the levels, there will be additional extraction points you must meet, up to 5. If your loot is worth more than the quota, you'll receive a nice tax return, either giving you extra cash to use in the shop or money that can be put towards the next extraction point. After each level, the truck is taken back to the service shop, where useful items, weapons, and many upgrades can be purchased to assist you during your adventures. I started off playing multiplayer with my buddy Colin. Shout out to Colin for convincing me to get the game. While I'm pretty terrified of horror games in general, there was something different about R.E.P.O. The mechanics were simple, the graphics not intensive, and an easy to use interface. At face value, it looked like a game with a lot of potential. It wasn't until I got into my first level that I was faced with the horrors that lay within. In almost every facet of life, including anyone trying a new game for the first time, there's a base level of stress that comes with it. Learning to drive a car, signing up for insurance, and heaven forbid, setting up your own dentist appointment. These can all be stressful to learn how to do. With R.E.P.O. though, I really only felt the fear of the monsters as I see them clap Colin into pieces. My experience with R.E.P.O. so far, which admittedly is only 33 hours, has been nothing but absolute fun. There definitely is frustration when I'm leaving a map after finishing the last quota, when I get 360 no-scoped by the blind huntsman. Even when stupidly random things like that happen though, I'm still able to enjoy my time playing. This game also works for those preferring the solo journey. Sure, more players generally means less time spent looking for valuables or finding the next extraction point quicker, but there's something satisfying about completing a 3 quota level solo that can't be found in many other ways. Like Lethal Company and many other games, this one has received thousands of community mods, ranging from valuables, level designs, and new monsters to weapons, spawn mechanics, multiplayer enhancements, and many more. I've personally found a ton of fun in adding new levels and valuables, which don't really affect the core gameplay design. It simply allows an individual or group to fine-tune their game to their liking. I really applaud SemiWorks Studios for being so supportive of these mods, when many larger companies or studios would bring the hammer down on creators for this. So, where do we go now? The game is still receiving updates, even if they take time. The developers are making sure to stay in touch with the fanbase, but eventually something new must come along, right? A trend that we've been seeing over the past 15 years is smaller companies or independent developers creating absolute gems, all while the larger AAA companies are pumping out sloppy titles that play on hype or nostalgia. I think of Call of Duty Black Ops 7 with uprooting the story of Raul Menendez and David Mason. There was no need to bring any of them back, especially seeing that the campaign had concluded the story that was started in Black Ops 1. This is just one example of companies ripping off old ideas or products, attempting to play on good feelings or memories, and then selling it right back to the consumers. This isn't just the game industry that has this cancerous pattern though. It's almost every facet of entertainment. I won't even go into how much I hate that Shrek 5 or Toy Story 5 are even in consideration. But what does this mean for games like R.E.P.O. or game studios like SemiWorks? I truly believe that larger studios will eventually see the pattern emerging that big names and IPs won't be enough anymore. This ideally would lead groups to produce games that not only are innovative, but truly fun for players, and games we can enjoy for years. Minecraft was developed in 2009 and continues to have a grip on many, including me. I know that's an ideal situation, but I can hope, okay? Do I think it'll happen? I don't know, honestly. Greed has such a hold on people, it's hard to think of an industry it hasn't tainted. I do have hope though, that smaller game producers continue to create masterpieces that remind me of how much fun games can be, not just programs designed for me to spend my entire life savings. To wrap this all up, I truly love R.E.P.O. I love everything about it. While I'm not a horror game diehard, I can absolutely lose myself in this one. The gameplay, the design, the infinite possibilities with mods, the fun I have with my friends. It's unmatched in almost any other game right now. Aside from frustrations I have in specific situations in-game, I love it. I love that it came from a small company in Sweden that had nothing else to lose. A company who cares more about its community and not about squeezing me for my last dollar. I hope more games like this come to fruition. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you. I hope you've enjoyed this little love letter to R.E.P.O. It's truly been one of my favorite games in the past 10 years or so, when everything is generic and copy and paste from one another. This one really stuck out to me and has given me a lot of laughs. I can say that I've really enjoyed playing it, and even solo, when I don't have anybody to play with, it's still my favorite. Thank you everyone for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Shrimp out.